Your AC is likely working overtime as high heat continues across Colorado. Denver tied its hottest day so far this year, again at 97 degrees. Part of a heat wave that just doesn't show signs of letting up. Plenty of people showed up to beat the heat. They braved the chilly waters of Clear Creek in Golden today. Feels refreshing.
Yeah, cold as the Rockies.
Right. Thanks for joining us. I'm Kim Christensen.
I'm Kyle Clark. So if you don't like the 90s, tough breaks. Plenty more hot days are on the way. We begin tonight with meteorologist Kathy Sabin and that.
That's right, 97 degrees in Denver today. This is the third time in the month of July we've seen 97 degrees. We had one day in June we saw 97 degrees. That's the warmest temperature so far for the season. Today, the record 100 in many areas did surpass that, and we're seeing those very mild conditions persist throughout the evening. We are still in the mid-80s at 10:01 p.m. in downtown Denver. We're still in the upper 80s out across western Colorado and eastern Utah. Winds out of the south and east still going along the Front Range tonight, and we do have advisories for heat in northwestern Colorado and across the western slope, but the heat advisory for Denver is canceled. Little smoke and haze sneaking into Colorado and into Denver today. The worst of it is over western Colorado, but Denver's still under an air quality alert through the afternoon, as are the areas where the biggest fires are still burning. We've been tracking a couple of gusty thunderstorms with wind and lightning over the Front Range, foothills and mountains. Not a lot of rain, but it's something. And this is the beginning of what should be the monsoon, which will kick in eventually, but not tonight and not tomorrow. And it's going to be very warm for sleeping overnight with lows in the upper 60s. Coming up, we'll have your extended forecast in detail and when we might have substantial rain right here in Denver that might make a difference.
With Colorado in the middle of a historic drought, Aurora City Council is considering a new plan meant to help save some water.
Tonight, they move forward with the idea of proposed restrictions on landscaping in industrial areas of town. 9 News reporter Janelle Finch is along with the details.
Aurora has been in a stage 1 water shortage since early April. That limits outdoor water to 2 days per week. City leaders are now looking at other ways to protect the water supply in the future. Councilman Curtis Gardner sponsored a resolution designed to do just that. It would make changes to landscaping allowed in industrial areas. The proposal would reduce tree requirements and include natural materials like mulch and native grasses. All of this would be done with conservation in mind while balancing the idea of curb appeal. Right now, Aurora is addressing industrial areas, but it could just be the start. Future phases would include commercial, retail, and residential lands. The resolution received preliminary approval without any discussion during tonight's City Council meeting. Up next, it heads to committee. Council is expected to vote to adopt the resolution in September. Janelle Finch, 9 News.
Days after Aurora's mayor threatened to shut off water to Aurora Public Schools, Mayor Mike Coffin now confirms there was a misunderstanding. Last week, Coffin posted about seeing green lawns at schools. He accused the district of failing to follow drought restrictions. He claimed that APS had been paying fines for non-compliance. A spokesperson for Aurora Water said that was not true, and she thought that the mayor just misunderstood the difference between a water surcharge and a fine. In a new post today, Mayor Coffin confirmed there was in fact a misunderstanding related to how the drought-related reduction was measured. Aurora Water says 9 of the district's 61 facilities have been using too much water. In the mayor's post today, he said the district has said it is committed to complying with the restrictions.
New tonight, President Trump is slashing the size of 2 national monuments in Utah, each by about 90%. The move to shrink Bear Ears and Grand Staircase Escalante National Monuments unravels protections established by former Democratic presidents. Native Americans consider the land sacred with unique archaeological and historical features. This comes as Trump and Republicans have moved to drastically reshape the management of taxpayer-owned lands. Republicans want to expand oil and gas drilling and logging on public lands. The Antiquities Act, a 1906 law, allows presidents to preserve important sites. Democrats and conservationists call Trump's move heartbreaking and illegal. Trump says he is giving the land back to the people.
The Republican nominee for Colorado governor, Victor Marx, is quietly asking for signed pledges of support from other Republican candidates in the state. Marx is trying to unite the party after his rivals in the primary said the ministry leader was a con man and a fraud who they wouldn't support in November. 9 News has obtained a so-called Republican General Election Unity Compact being circulated by the Marks team. It's going to Republican candidates for federal, state, and local office. It asked the GOP candidates to indicate if they support Marks and if they are willing to say so publicly. We asked the Marks team why it felt the need to solicit signed loyalty pledges. Marks' advisor, Buddy Jericho, told us, quote, "This is a voluntary coordination framework, not a loyalty pledge. It asks candidates both where they may want to work together and what support they need from our campaign." Recently elected Colorado Republican Party Chair Craig Steiner told me the party was not involved in soliciting these signed pledges of support for Victor Marks, but he said that he views a, quote, willingness to cooperate as a good thing.
Today, the GEO Group announced a second ICE detention facility will open northeast of Denver in Hudson, in a former private prison. What was known as the Hudson Correctional Facility closed in 2014. When the facility opens, it will be able to hold just shy of 1,200 detainees. State law requires a medical and mental health professional to be on site at all times and allows unannounced state inspections every 90 days. The town posted a news release on its social media telling the community that the facility is authorized through federal contracts and not the town. Progressive Democrats who passed the legislation that restricts some detention center activity this year say they don't trust the deal.
Even with these regulations, I believe that what we have seen from Homeland Security and the operations of the federal government, they will do everything they can to skirt the law.
To reopen the buildings, GEO Group will need a certificate of occupancy. Paperwork shows the feds could pay GEO up to $530 million over 5 years. Neither ICE nor the GEO Group could tell us when the facility will open. You might think those red light and photo radar cameras bring in a bunch of cash for a city. The city of Fort Collins certainly did. Leaders added more cameras to its network less than 2 years ago.
Rack them up, stack them up. Well, last year program, it only turned a slight profit. And tonight, new documents show future revenue might not even cover the costs. 9 News reporter Spencer Soisher explains.
So this is where Shield Street meets Prospect Road in Fort Collins. The road where Fort Collins drivers have the best prospect of getting a photo radar or red light ticket. These cameras are responsible for the majority of those in the city. But the city used that intersection to forecast how much money it would make at other intersections, like this one at Harmony and Shields. And it was off, like way off.
Shields. Walk sign is on to cross Shields.
The city rolled out more photo enforcement over the last 2 years with cameras at 6 locations. Fort Collins expected to bring in about $5.2 million in photo ticket revenue this past year. Instead, it only made about $2.9 million, with $2.7 million going toward operating expenses. Another problem? Fort Collins, you're way too good at driving. Back when this camera radar program started, about 7% of drivers were actually getting a ticket for running a light or speeding. Now, it's under 3%. In the past, the program has turned a profit. This year, that might not be the case. City documents show at the current rate, drivers are getting even fewer tickets this year, with tickets down at most locations anywhere from 46 to 77% compared to this time last year. The city thinks drivers have adjusted their behavior. And fewer tickets is great if your goal is for people to follow the rules of the road, but not so great if it forces significant changes to your budget. The city of Fort Collins will discuss what to do about it in a meeting next month. In Fort Collins, Spencer Soisher, 9 News.
We were told the financial officer for the city was not able to speak with us today about the budget situation. City documents also suggest Fort Collins may look at a potential new enforcement provider for next year.
New tonight, police in northern Colorado are investigating the death of a man whose body was found in a submerged vehicle. The Fort Lupton Fire Protection District says the vehicle was found in a body of water near Highway 85 and County Road 22. It's just a few miles north of town. There's a canal in that area, though it's not clear if that's where the vehicle was found. Investigators have not yet said what might have led up to the vehicle ending in the water.
4 people have now died fighting wildfires in Colorado this year. A 56-year-old helicopter pilot named Nicholas Dale was killed over the weekend while working the Gold Mountain Fire in southwestern Colorado. His helicopter crashed into Silver Jack Reservoir about 40 miles south of Montrose yesterday evening. Flight tracking data shows the aircraft arrived in Colorado July 4th and had flown at least 8 missions over the fire before the crash. Like the 3 other firefighters killed, Dale had come to the community to help. He was from British Columbia. The president of the Colorado Fallen Firefighters Foundation says the toll this season is taking has been among the worst.
I've been in Colorado since 1974, and this is one of the most extensive years I can ever remember for the actual number of wildland fires.
Pilots died battling wildfires in 2021, 2008, and 2002. 1994, of course, saw 14 firefighters killed battling the South Canyon Fire on Storm King Mountain near Glenwood Springs. The Gold Mountain Fire currently has burned about 56 square miles in Ouray County and is 11% contained.
Fire investigators in Lake County say a wildfire that is burning near Leadville was started by humans. The Willow Fire started more than 2 weeks ago near Turquoise Lake, west of Leadville. It's burned more than 6,200 acres or nearly 10 square miles. At last check, it was 33% contained. Fire officials are lifting some pre-evacuation orders near Twin Lakes. They're hoping to scale back even more north of Turquoise Lake. To the southwest part of the state, the Ferris Fire remains the 10th largest in state history. As of tonight, it has burned more than 101 square miles in Dolores and Montezuma counties. Crews have the Ferris Fire at 29% containment tonight. In southern Colorado, the Aspen Acres Fire remains the 7th largest fire in state history. Last check has burned more than 154 square miles across Pueblo and Custer counties. That's the size of Denver. Crews have the Aspen Acres Fire 36% contained. A community meeting will be held at 7 tomorrow night at Centennial High School in Pueblo. The meeting will also be broadcast live on Facebook and YouTube.
There's another spot in Colorado where you can currently fish all you want. An emergency public fish salvage is underway at Timnath Reservoir in Larimer County. CPW authorized the move because of low water levels, and they think a lot of the fish there are going to die regardless. All bag and possession limits are lifted. All legal methods of take are allowed. You don't even have to dress up like the Andy Griffith Show like the folks in that stock photography. The town's also temporarily waiving shore and non-motorized boat permits normally required for fishing access. You can fish anytime from 6 a.m. till 8:30 p.m. or dusk, whichever comes first. The fish salvage will remain in effect until CPW determines it's no longer necessary. The town of Timnath will provide updates.